Thanks for showing up today. My name is Bill Fountain, and I'm the Hartland Township Supervisor. And this is our annual State of the Community. Last year, if you recall, we did it all by video via COVID. But again, thanks for coming here today. We're going to be going quite quickly. Hopefully we can get out of here this portion in just over a half hour. And then we'll stick around, and if anybody has questions and such, we can go from there. So if we would all please rise, I would like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here today to introduce some special people that we have. If there's people here from the Chamber Board, would you please stand and just stay standing here? But anybody from the Chamber Board, please stand. Anybody from the School Board, please stand. Anybody from the Library Boards, please stand. And anybody from the Township Board, please stand. Thank you for coming today. And we also have in our presence today State Senator Lana Tice, please stand. And we also have Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin's right-hand person. Is it Mona Shand? Yep. And Mona, thanks for being here today. Thank you. We're going to be starting here this afternoon with a special video. It was just made here this fall, and we're lucky enough to have some really good, talented people put this together. So with that, if we could dim the lights, and we'll show just a little preview of what today's about in celebrating our community, Hartland, Michigan.
Hello, Hartland residents. I'm Township Manager Bob West. We all know that the past year and a half have brought about challenges in our local community and around the globe. Although it will still be some time before we understand the full impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen many changes in our local economy on a daily basis. Today, I'd like to shine a light on Hartland businesses and organizations who have faced these obstacles head-on as they have adapted to serve the community around them.
Spicer Orchards has been in Hartland for 54 years. It started in 1967 when my mom and dad, Wanda and Al Spicer, began the farm here in Hartland. As a result of COVID, we did our best to move as much of our operations outdoors as we possibly could. We moved all of our weighing stations, our check-in stations, all of our donut area cash registers, and as much as we possibly could think of to move outdoors. We did a lot of social distancing. We started a curbside pickup. We started an online market. In our winery, we added a whole large outdoor seating area to our venue so that people could be outside while they're enjoying their drinks and flights at the winery. This has been a very positive addition for us. We find that people come to the orchard because they want to be outdoors. So having that outdoor service area has been a big addition, and we have lots of plans for it in the future. We just looked for any possible way to make customers feel safe and still get the quality products that they've always depended on us for. We are very excited about the future. We have appreciated all of our partnerships within the community of Hartland. The people of Hartland have always supported us through thick and thin, and we know as a part of this community, we can get through anything that comes our way, and we're really excited at looking into the future.
Throughout the pandemic, Hartland's Permian Library has adapted by finding new ways to reach our patrons and offer more services than ever before. We've really tried hard to offer more educational resources, especially for those families that are doing any type of at-home learning. We now have take-home kits with fun crafts and activities for families to enjoy at home. We have all kinds of online content. We have story times that families can enjoy from home, virtual book clubs, even launched a new teen blog with content that's been created by our community's teens, like recommended reading lists and how-to videos. We've got live online tutoring for all ages, not just for kids. And grants have allowed us to add even more internet hotspots to our collection. You'll see a lot of the services that we've developed in the past year or so sticking around for quite some time. Going forward into the future, we're taking so many of these new skills with us. We're taking so many of these new programs and services. It's been so fascinating to see what the community's reacted to And that's really going to make us stronger going forward, because when things happen in the future, we'll be more prepared to offer more than we have in the past, or find new ways to connect with our community. So going forward, it's really given us a lot of creativity and excitement for the future.
In March of 2020, after months of planning and preparation for our spring baseball and softball season, we were at a standstill and had to put all of our plans on hold. We got right to work during this downtime to establish guidelines to get the kids playing. We were fortunate that in fall of 2020, when other sports were unable to participate fully, we were able to offer baseball and softball season to the children in Hartland. Our community really pulled together. With the help of the township and community volunteers, we really worked hard to get these fields ready for when we were able to return to play. We all learned how we had to be resilient and adaptable to every situation that we were faced with, and I believe that as an organization, we worked very well together to ensure that that happened. I think that sports are very important for kids, for their social and emotional development. Our organization and all the sports in our organization are a wonderful outlet for children to come and develop and learn and grow. And with the support of our wonderful parent volunteers, community volunteers, school support, we want to continue to provide a safe, fun place for children in this community to come and play.
Our lives are shaped by adversity and how we respond to it. If we've learned anything in the past year and a half, it's to be prepared for change. As we continue to face uncertain times ahead, we are all in charge of how we personally respond. Let's take this opportunity to make a positive impact on the community around us. Volunteer, find a local outreach, support student athletes by attending sporting events. Hartland's Farmers Market meets every Saturday from 9 to 2 in the Rural King parking lot from May until October. Supporting local growers and artisans is a great way to build community. You can stay up to date on these community events by visiting the calendar at heartlandliving.com. Follow Hartland Living on Facebook for all updates and local happenings. Thanks for tuning in today.
That was very well done, and that actually is a synopsis of what today is about. It's not about one entity, it's not about the township, it's about all of us working together. And that includes the Cromaine Library, the Chamber of Commerce, the Hartland Consolidated Schools, and the township itself. So at the end of the day, each one of us are going to get up and have an opportunity just to briefly explain to everyone here, and for those that are going to be watching this later, what's happening in our community at this point, what's on the horizon, and again, what really makes Hartland special is, and a place to be, is all of us working together in a silo. About 4 years ago, we started what was called Partners in Progress. That's those 4 entities, and we would periodically speak with each other, and we all decided what would happen if we came and worked together as Partners in Progress. And that's where a lot of this information that you're going to hear today has been shared, and we work together when there's ideas, topics, and the best of all, we have a relationship when there's something that's troubling or concerning. We can all work together and use each other as a sounding board, perhaps what's best for our community as a whole versus each one of us independently. So with that, I would like to invite our first speaker here today, Mallory DeVilbiss. And Mallory is with the Hartland Cromaine Library. Welcome.
Hi everyone. As Bill said, I'm up here to kick things off in our updates tonight. My name is Mallory DeVilbiss, and I'm the director over across the street at the Cromaine Library. I think we can all agree this has been a strange year, maybe not what we expected when we recorded that video a year ago, thinking we were about to come out on the other side. And in addition to that, the library's had staff shortages like so many. We've had power outages. We've even had some flooding. And if you were around for our summer concert series, we had a strange persistence of rainy Tuesdays throughout the summer. But through it all, I've been so proud of our community for just the positive outlook that everybody's had. and even more proud of our library staff for making the best of it through it all and making sure that we've been there to provide the best library service for everybody that's walked through our doors in the past year. So with that, I just want to share some quick highlights of things that we've been up to at the library over the past year. We've got some new furniture and a new layout on the first floor, which has created a more modern, open feel and a lot more comfortable seating areas for folks that want to come in and read, want to come in and study, or just want a comfortable spot to pass some time. Thanks to some grant funds, we added 11 new internet hotspots to our collection. That brings our total up to 20. So those are available for free with your Cromaine Library card to check out and get you internet access from wherever you head. Our staff got very creative with programs and collections over the past year. We brought in presenters for virtual programs from as far away as Paris, France for a cooking demonstration. We've got lots of take-home craft kits for people of all ages, and our adult services staff created binge bags for a movie night at home. You get 3 themed movies along with some candy and popcorn for a complete fun night in. Our sport port collection grew considerably this year, so in addition to kind of your standard sporting equipment like soccer balls and baseball mitts, we've got snowshoes, we've got yard games like bocce ball or beanbag toss, we've got mini golf kits, sleds, a little bit of everything. I know we don't want to think about snow yet, but we've got those sleds and snowshoes ready for you once you do. And then in partnership with the township and the Motor City Mountain Biking Association, we created Little Settlers Loop at Settlers Park. We helped sponsor that, and we're so happy to add a mountain biking path specifically for the littlest ones in our community over there at Settlers Park. And then finally, despite those rainy Tuesdays, we packed the lawn at the library for the summer concert series, including our highest ever attendance at a single concert. We had over 450 people come out and join us for our final concert of the year this summer with the Magic Bus Band, and it was so great to see so many people out there getting to enjoy community and music all together. Overall, I really think that despite a strange year, we've made the best of it, and I'm so proud to have led a library staff to accomplish so much through this past year. Finally, I just want to say, if you haven't been in the library for a little bit, come back and see us. As you heard, there might be something there for you that you didn't expect, that you didn't even know you were looking for, but we are happy to see old friends and new. So with that, I just want to thank you all again for coming here tonight, and now it's my honor to hand it off to Miss Katie Chuba from the Hartland Area Chamber of Commerce.
So thank you again for coming. I echo our partners. And I do have to say, probably the most vital thing for the Chamber has been over this year and a half is the partnerships. The partners with not only our Partners in Progress partners, but other partners in the county as well. Right now what we're doing is we're continuing with moving forward with some face-to-face opportunities that are spaced out at times. So morning networking mixers, afternoon mixers and things like that, because businesses really, they need that. They need to be able to network. They need to be able to pass referrals and talk amongst each others to grow their business. We're still providing business services for all those businesses in the Hartland area. So if you know of a local business that's coming to town and they need some assistance getting their feet wet, please have them reach out to the Chamber. We are absolutely happy to help and guide them in any way that we can. Our Hartland Business Builders continues to meet the first and third Wednesday of every month. This group has done phenomenal in the past year and a half. I'm super proud of the amount of business-based referrals that is going on within this hardy group of businesses. So again, it's open to those businesses that want to come check that out. I do have to thank again the Partners in Progress. Without the Partners in Progress, I really feel our community and our businesses wouldn't be as strong and collaborative as they are. So I just wanted to put a reach out to them as well. Speaking of Partners in Progress, another thing that we've came to fruition is the Hartland Business Community Collaborative. This is a new collaborative, but we're trying to engage more businesses to attend, to talk, just to have coffee and conversation. We've been meeting at the township quarterly, and some of those things are, the last one actually was about workforce attraction and retention. We all know right now workforce is an issue. Finding employees is an issue. So what can we do as partners? What can we do as joining forces and brainstorming with other businesses to attract and retain quality employees? So these are some of the things that we're working on. Coming up here in the near future for the chamber, this Friday, we have a morning networking event. All are welcome, and it's at LaFontaine Automotive just down on Highland Road at 8 o'clock in the morning if you want to come for free coffee and free snacks. I always say food and coffee brings people. So also coming up, we have our annual general membership meeting. That's on November 4th, and we continue to support, that's at the Detroit Polo Club at 4:30. I have to remember dates and times. We also are supporting, there are many businesses that are still opening, so we're providing ribbon cuttings and grand openings and some promotional for them. We have a pretty large contact database, so we're able to promote our businesses, whether it's through newsletter or maybe they're doing special things that we can share on social media and that sort of thing, so we're continuing to do that. As I don't know if you know or not, but this year is the Chamber's 25th anniversary. So we are celebrating all year long, promoting our 25th anniversary gala, which is coming up on December 10th. And that's an evening cocktail attire. And basically the premise of the gala is to honor all businesses and all community members and all of our volunteers and all of our partners and come together for an evening to really celebrate and recognize and honor those folks. Some of the things that we're working on for the future, I spoke of partnerships earlier and how important they are. During COVID, just like any other business, the chamber we shifted to and we had to adapt to change. So we partnered with the other chambers in the county, the Howell area and the Greater Brighton area chambers. And we formed what's called now the Livingston County Chamber Alliance. So yes, we still are our own entities, but we are also gathering our resources together to provide larger scale initiatives for businesses. For example, in 2022, we're going to be offering a quarterly speaker series called Changing the Game. And some of the things that we're going to bring to the table are workforce, community infrastructure, an economic forecast on a local and national level, and what does that mean for all of us? Electric vehicles and infrastructure needed for that, and workforce and a leadership mini conference. So we are working together on a larger scale to bring those wonderful things to our area businesses. We have great events at the chamber as well. We had the annual Hartland Polo Classic this year, and we had just over 600 people attend that, and that's a great community event at the Detroit Polo Club in partnership with them. We do an annual golf outing. We have many other networking events and business initiatives, so we'll still continue to grow and do those. And the way we really focus on our programming is by surveying our members. So if you're a member sitting here, you'll be getting a survey soon. Please take the survey. We need to know what businesses need for their success. And then we can work with our partners and our resources to develop that programming. So these are just some of the things that the chambers are doing. That's kind of the highlight. I want to thank, again, our Lana Tice and Mona Shand and the Partners in Progress for always being here for us and helping our businesses and our communities. So thank you for your time this evening. I appreciate it. And I'd like to introduce our next partner in progress, our Superintendent of Hartland Consolidated Schools, Mr. Chuck Hughes. And I'll shake your hand.
So talking about partners, when I think of partners, I think about our community. We wouldn't be the school district we are without all of the people within the community supporting what we do. As I think about the challenging last year and a half, what we've been going through this year, what our parents are working through with their children as they try to get an education with all of the ramifications of COVID, I will tell you that I'm so proud of our community for figuring out how to do this and do it well. I'd like to start actually with talking a little bit about what we saw last year. When we get to the end of the year, we have all these state assessments that we are expected to have our children engage in. And we made sure that we took that seriously. We assessed 93% of our student body this year, or last spring, where the state average was 61%. So we brought those students in, we took our assessments, and here's what we found, which was astonishing. We figured we would drop a little bit, and we did in most of the assessments, but in our PSAT 8, PSAT 9, PSAT 10, and SAT 11, we had more students than ever before, think about this, than ever before college and career ready in a really, really difficult school year. That's something to be really proud of in our community for our students and our parents. And so we thank them for sticking with us and doing the best they could every day. And we always told them, all we're asking is the best you can do. So we are proud of that. Partners in Progress, I think about the partnerships we have with the Chamber. Their residence is at our Educational Support Service Center. That partnership works well, and hopefully it stays that way for a long time. Our partnership with the township, our ability to work together. One of the big things coming is a connection, a sidewalk connection between the high school and Settlers Park, and we're working on that together. And then, of course, the library. We work hand in hand. They feed us information. We make sure our students and our families know what's happening in the library so that we can engage together. So we thank them for that. Without that, we wouldn't have the vibrant community that we have. So I think what's awesome about Partners in Progress is that it shares what you get if you choose to live, learn, play, and be associated with the Hartland community. So thank you to them. One of the checks we look at to see what's Hartland looking like? What are people saying about Hartland schools? Well, here's what we know. Year after year after year, we get large numbers of school of choice students that come to Hartland. This year, for instance, we have 213 new enrolled students from outside our boundaries. That's essential to what we're trying to accomplish. Keeps our buildings at full capacity. It makes sure that we stay consistent and our staffing, and people feel that, hey, they have the ability to stay in Hartland, to come to Hartland, work in Hartland, and never have to worry about what's happening in Hartland because we keep those buildings full and we keep those students moving forward. We had 27 parents move out of the district and chose to stay in Hartland with their children. So again, I think what people see is that we are the premier school of choice that we're asking and touting to the public. A bond update, thank you again to our community for supporting the $45 million bond effort. This summer, we finished all 4 of our elementary schools. A couple things that have to be done yet at Creekside, for instance, the entryway, some roofs that we couldn't get accomplished this summer, but we have the STEM labs up and running, and the kids are really enjoying the STEM labs. It used to be PE. Now the kids are like STEM. I want to go to STEM. So it's awesome as we walk through those spaces and they're being used. We have our new robotics center going up at the old high school, the Educational Support Service Center in the back. And we also have the new auxiliary stadium getting ready to go up. We'll be bidding that out shortly so that it's up and running, hopefully next year at this time next to the middle school. So lots going on. And again, I think Hartland is a well-rounded school district, and we thank the parents and our partnerships with everybody. So next is Bill Fountain for the Hartland Township. Bill?
This today is about celebrating our whole community and us working together. And I've got a few highlights of things that are happening at the township. As we all know, the world has changed in the last year and a half, and it's probably going to change again. And there's a lot of uncertainty all across on numerous fronts. You know, supply chain management is an issue, employment is an issue. But one thing that's that we didn't, at least I didn't foreshadow with this whole thing coming down was the amount of new businesses that are coming into our community and going through the site plan process. Right now we have Redwood Development, which is a housing development that's approved. Pearl, which is Hartland Senior Living. It's not senior care, but it's senior living. That's on the books for next year. Hungry Howie's is going to be building a standalone unit. The Kroger here in Hartland is going to do a complete remodel. Our Dairy Queen, one of the few stores that hasn't been like taken down and rebuilt. That whole unit there is going to get redone this next year, along with the Food Town. For those that have been around for a long time, the Food Town is going to get retrofitted and redone. And that's just the ones that we just recently approved. We probably have a half dozen to maybe more than 10 people who are going through the process as we speak. If you get the Daily Press and Argus, we made the front page today. There's a large apartment complex that is looking to come into our community. It's still very, very early in the stages, but there are several different housing projects that are perhaps in queue in our community. And why would people be coming to Hartland? Well, we really think it's what we're talking about today. It's a sense of community. It's a great place to live. You're a half hour from a lot of different places via either M59 or a freeway. And if you take an hour, and I do have a business here in town, but if you take an hour circle around that intersection, you can get to the other side of Lansing, you can get to Bay City, Michigan, you can get to Detroit, you can get to Toledo, and you can get to Jackson. And that encompasses a huge area. And another element that I always am proud about Hartland is a lot of people say it feels like going up north. And if you do come up from like Ohio and Toledo and you get down in the lower southeast Michigan, it's pretty flat. And as soon as you start hitting that Brighton area, you start getting the elevation change. And I think that it reminds people of maybe where they grew up or different areas within the state of Michigan. So we are unique on so many fronts. Having the 23 and 59 corridor are two wonderful things that we have. We've been doing a lot of analysis at the township and having people come in and work with us. We had Gibbs come in and do a retail market analysis, and they also did a housing analysis. And that is an independent group that comes in. They speak with different groups within our community, and it helps us mold where we want to go and where people want us to go within our community. So we're finishing up our past strategic plan, which was 4 years. Later on this month, our township board is going to get together with a facilitator, and we're going to start looking at what we want to do for the next 4 years. And that's exciting things. We took a lot of low-hanging fruit, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're listening to the folks that live here, the businesses that are here, and what the future looks like. And as we all know, there's a lot of changing dynamics, but to have all these things in queue for new developments within our community, that's a very positive, in my opinion, outlook and positive for Hartland when you drive around other communities close to us and you see maybe not the same thing happening. So I truly believe that we're doing something right and we can always do better. Fiscal responsibility, we have at the township well over 1 year's annual expenditures, and that's a 1-to-1 ratio. So we have 1 year's worth of dollars in the bank in case something went awry. If something just kind of fell through, we have enough in that account to be 1 year out, and that goes and bodes well for our audit we recently had. And I can't remember, they change it every year. It used to be an unqualified, which didn't sound really right to me, but it's the best you can get in an audit. They just changed the name of it. I can't remember what it is, but you can't get a better audit than what we just had. Our assessing department, for the second time in 10 years, got straight A's. The last time that came out, there were only 3 communities in the state of Michigan that got perfect scores on their assessing department, and Hartland has now done it twice in every 5 years. We've done it twice. So that's another one of those things that we look at and try to be the best that we can be within the dollars that we have. We're talking about parks and talking about partnerships. We would never be able to have the parks that we have today without the entities like HIA, which is the youth association, with Hartland Lacrosse, with the community soccer, and it goes, and the mountain bike group was discussed earlier. We give them a platform, we give them a parking lot, we give them playscapes and that type of thing, but when it comes to maintaining it more than just a park, that's where our partners come in. And that's why we have, if you've ever been to our athletic fields, when people come from other places, there's probably not, if any, better than what we have here in Hartland. And our amenities are nice. We have, running water. We've got the little dog bowls with fresh water for them and that type of thing. It's what really makes us a community. We have, and Bob West would say, we never expected how much toilet paper and cleaning supplies we'd have to go through. He actually has staff coming in every day on weekends, coming in and emptying and replenishing those supplies for our guests and for people that live here in our community. And those parks have been way beyond anything I thought would ever happen when it came to success. The next thing I wanted to talk about was walkability. And through that Gibbs report, we found that walkability is not only important for your health, but it's important for a community. And having the 23 M59 dissection of Hartland does not make walkability easy. However, one of our strategies in our last strategic plan 4 years ago was to do what we can to start making connections within our community. I believe 2 years ago, we connected the village of Hartland all the way up to the Meyer area. That was on Old 23. This last year, we did M59 from across from the old high school all the way down to the Hartland Road M59 interchange. That quadrant now is basically, and that's our highest developed area in our township, but all of those people now can actually walk safely to get down into our commercial district. And we have visions, and Chuck Hughes said earlier, next year connecting our park to the high school. We're working together on that. So if you're in the village now, you should be able to eventually walk all the way to the park at a safe crosswalk in a safe manner. And we see more and more people, and I'm sure everybody else that lives here sees it. There are people out all the time walking and riding their bikes. And I believe the score that we got through the Gibbs was in the maybe 60s or 50s. In walkable communities, to be successful, they're looking for something around the 80 mark, whatever that score is out of 100. I'm not sure what the details are. However, every time we add a sidewalk, it's moving forward to making us more of a walkable community. And that's going to be success into the future for not only us seniors as we get older, but for our kids and their children as well. So those are just some of the things that we have going on. The staff that we have at the township, we talk about this all the time. Change the culture of what we are, be business friendly, be community friendly, and do whatever we can to change the narrative. As we know, really politics doesn't have a lot of favorable things in the evening news, but what we can control, what we do here locally, and we want to be the best that we can be. We want to be the most welcoming community that we can be, and that will bring success for not just us, but as we go forward. One of the last things I'd like to mention is we did a housing analysis and how much, I'm not trying to boast, but the value of homes in the greater Livingston area, including Hartland, are some of the biggest or highest in the state of Michigan. And that has a lot to do with of the culture that we have here when it comes to safety. I tell everybody the reason that I think we're successful is because of our school system. But now that we're getting more businesses, we're starting to get an identity as a great place to go. We have a rural king that actually, that was the best thing I've ever said that. It's a very difficult word for me to say, is rural king. But at the end of the day, there's people coming from like 45 minutes away to go to Rural King. And I would have never thought that would be a market, but somebody did their stuff, and it has to do with horses and that type of thing. So at the end of the day, there's opportunity here in Hartland, and we have wonderful things to look forward to. So that being said, thank you for listening, and I'm going to now invite Stephanie Furge from Hartland Living. And Stephanie is going to have the privilege to show a video and have our Volunteer of the Year. Thank you.
So hi everyone. It is my honor to announce this year's Hartland Living Volunteer of the Year. This is the 5th year Hartland has recognized the heart of our community, the volunteers. For 2021, we received 6 amazing nominations, and the vote was put into the hands of our community. Once again, it was a very close vote. Before we formally announce the winner, I would like you to please enjoy our Volunteer of the Year highlight video.
There's 3 organizations that I kind of work with. My biggest thing is here at the Music Hall. It actually started with my kids being involved with the Hartland Players. The building wasn't exactly in the greatest shape, but I saw so much history and unique designs and all the heritage that is involved here. And I said, this place really needs a lot of attention. Did all the woodwork, did all the doors, all the railings, all the ceiling. Anything that needed to be done was done. I probably have spent maybe 20,000 hours here. I loved what I did because it was a sense of accomplishment, and it made the place look better. And so every year it was some major project. The first caretaker of this building from 1932 came, and we went through the whole building, and he told me stories about the things that he did back in the 30s. And I asked him before he left, I says, well, what do you think of the building? You know, he says, looks the same. And that just really made me feel good. I mean, it was just a great accomplishment. The community has actually given me a very nice life for the last 45 years. So giving back to the community is just kind of second nature. You just feel that if you're going to live here, you want to make it the best. So give it your best.
I would now like to invite Senator Lana Tice and Mona Shan from the office of Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin to the stage as well. While they're coming up here, I'm going to continue. When the Hartland Living Volunteer of the Year Committee began the process a few months ago, we did not know who would be nominated, and we certainly did not know who would win. But this year, when the Partners in Progress chose the Hartland Music Hall as the location for the State of the Community Address, some might say it was serendipitous. This year's winner is the caretaker that brought this hall back to life and has continued to maintain it meticulously. Please give a warm round of applause as he joins us on stage. Come on up, Don Thompson.
Hi, Darren Thompson here, son of Don Thompson. Dad, congratulations on this award. I wish I could be there with you in person, yet I can picture exactly where you are in the music hall. Both of us created a lot of fond memories there. I cherish the walkthrough of the hall we did together several months ago, reminiscing some of those memories. While this Volunteer of the Year award honors your work and your contribution to the Hartland community, I believe it honors your character that much more, something that should absolutely be celebrated. We sat outside just several weeks ago and specifically talked about character and integrity. I'm proud of you, and you should be proud as a parent. Both you and Mom set a great example for me as a son, not just with your words, but with clearly demonstrable action. Congratulations, Dad.
So I'm State Senator Lana Tice. I'm your state senator. We have a tribute here from the state that recognizes your efforts, both here and actually with the library as well. When you look at a community, that is cohesive and functioning, you see people at the base who are always there, always saying yes, always working. And this recognizes your efforts and recognizes why you were considered the Volunteer of the Year. So thank you so much for all that you've done. This building is extraordinary.
And I'm Mona Shand. I'm the Livingston County Field Representative for U.S. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin. The Congresswoman wanted you to know that she is so incredibly proud to represent dedicated volunteers like you. And the message she wanted me to share with you is that service to your community is service to your nation. So she's very grateful for your service, for everything that you have done, and that I'm sure you will continue to do. And she wanted you to have this certificate of special congressional recognition in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community for protecting local treasures. Thank you for preserving our history and making sure that it lives on, and for your service to all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of Hartland Living and the Partners in Progress, I would like to award you this proclamation and the title of 2021 Hartland Living Volunteer of the Year. Congratulations.
Closing out this evening, so thank you all for coming. I am going to ask you guys to stay up here for some photos, and also our partners, Bill and Chuck and Mallory. We are going to take some photos, but please feel free to stay and for some fellowship and just some networking. So thank you all again for coming today.